Hey, everyone! Elon Musk is so smart, it's no shocker people think his kids might inherit his brain power and endless curiosity. Elon doesn't push his kids to be just like him, but one of them, little A-12’s, is already turning heads. Recently, Elon opened up about his 4-year-old, spilling the beans on X's amazing smarts and quirky interests. Could this kid be the one to carry on Elon's world-changing legacy? Stick with us as we dive into what Elon shared about A-12’s brilliant mind, and of course, take a peek at Elon's own genius too. Before we go any further, make sure to subscribe to our channel to be the first to know about informative videos like this one. You can't talk about X's cleverness without shining a spotlight on Elon himself. He's a total mystery, a guy people call a visionary and a genius. So, what's ticking in that incredible head of his? Folks guess his IQ might be between 150 and 160, which would rank him up there with brainiacs like Einstein and Hawking. Pretty cool, huh? But Elon's brilliance isn't just a number. It's how he uses that mind to tackle big problems, learn at lightning speed, and dream up stuff that sounds straight out of a sci-fi movie. What makes Elon special is his creative spark. His brain cooks up wild ideas, like rockets you can use again or cars that drive themselves, and then he actually makes them happen. It's the kind of thinking that leaves us all scratching our heads, wondering, how does he even do that? All right, let's talk about Elon Musk in a way that's easy to wrap your head around. Take SpaceX, for example. While we're over here wrestling with IKEA instructions, Elon taught himself rocket science. Yep, from scratch, and built a company that's totally flipped space travel on its head. How'd he do it? Something called first principles thinking. It's just a cool way of saying he strips problems down to the basics, ignores the usual rules, and builds something new from the ground up. He's not afraid to question everything and rewrite the game. Then there's how fast Elon gets stuff into his head. Whether it's engineering, AI, or green energy, Elon sucks up knowledge like a sponge, sometimes plowing through whole textbooks in a weekend. Most of us? We're still halfway through that book we started ages ago. This speedy learning lets him bounce between running Tesla, plotting Mars trips with SpaceX, and more, like it's no big deal. He takes all that info and turns it into real-world wins. That's what makes him stand out. Elon's magic recipe? A wild imagination, a never-ending itch to know more, and a work ethic that's out of this world. He's not just dreaming up big ideas. He's right there in the thick of it, solving problems with his team. And speaking of work, this guy's schedule is nuts. 80 to 100 hours a week, juggling Tesla, SpaceX, and his other gigs. While we'd probably collapse, Elon eats it up. He lasers in on challenges, breaks them down, and tackles them like a pro. He doesn't just work hard, he works smart. Elon Musk's knack for first principles thinking, stripping things down to the basics, and his speed at tweaking ideas means he solves problems faster than most of us can even think about them. That's why he's taken on huge stuff like climate change and space travel. But here's the cool part. Elon's brilliance didn't just pop up when he started SpaceX or Tesla. It was there way back when he was a kid. Little Elon was a super curious guy who couldn't get enough of books. He'd zoom through epic reads like Lord of the Rings, the Foundation series, and Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Those wild tales of brave heroes, crazy worlds, and far-out futures sparked something in him. They got him dreaming big, like really big. By age 10, he was already obsessed with computers and taught himself to code using just a VIC-20 manual. No YouTube, no online classes, just a kid and a book. Wild, right? Then at 12, Elon stepped it up. he built a space shooter video game called Blastar, think blasting enemy ships, and sold it to a magazine for $500. Sure, it's simple compared to today's games, but back then, huge deal. It showed he could take his ideas and make them real, even as a kid. While most 12-year-olds were stressing about homework or TV, Elon was already setting the stage to shake up the world. School-wise, Elon was solid, but not flashy. His grades were decent, a 61 in Afrikaans, a B in senior math, but nothing screamed genius to his teachers. Still, behind those so-so report cards was a brain buzzing with ideas, just waiting to explode into the game-changer we know today. By his late teens, Elon was itching to ditch South Africa. He wasn't thrilled about being forced into the military, especially under apartheid, and dreamed of bigger things. Thanks to his Canadian-born mom, he snagged a Canadian passport and bolted to North America as soon as he could. While waiting for the paperwork, he dipped his toes into the University of Pretoria. But Canada was calling his name. When he got there, Elon hustled with random jobs, think farm work and lumber mills, before landing at Queen's University in Ontario. 2 years later, he switched to the University of Pennsylvania, nabbing degrees in physics and economics. Oh, and get this, he helped pay for school by throwing epic ticketed house parties. Who'd guess the future SpaceX big shot was also a party-planning pro? But Elon's curiosity didn't chill in college. He snagged internships in energy storage and video games, teasing the wild ideas he'd chase later. After graduating, he toyed with a PhD at Stanford, then bailed after 2 days because the internet was buzzing, and Elon wasn't about to sit that out. His first big swing? Zip2, an online city guide with maps and business listings, super cutting edge back then. He coded it himself, burning the midnight oil in a cramped office. When Compaq scooped it up for $307 million, Elon pocketed $22 million. Not too shabby for a guy in his 20s. Next up was X.com, an online payment gig that eventually teamed up with another company to become PayPal. Elon was just getting started, and the world was about to see it. Elon Musk's leadership at PayPal wasn't everyone's cup of tea. He loved Microsoft systems, while others were all about Unix. Things got a bit bumpy, and he stepped down as CEO in 2000. But when eBay snapped up PayPal for $1.5 billion in 2002, Elon, the biggest shareholder, walked away with $176 million. Most folks would have kicked back, maybe bought a yacht or an island. Not Elon. He was just warming up. After PayPal, Elon didn't chill. He went cosmic. With his millions, he could have lounged on a beach. But nah, he aimed for the stars with SpaceX. Elon had been obsessed with Mars for years. Back in 2001, he thought about funding a mini greenhouse mission there, but a frustrating trip to Russia to buy rockets flopped hard. So he said, "Forget it. I'll build my own." In 2002, he poured $100 million of his own cash into starting SpaceX, dreaming of cheap space travel and Mars colonies. Sounds like a sci-fi flick, right? But Elon was dead serious. He jumped in as SpaceX's CEO and chief engineer, diving headfirst into rocket science. Things didn't go smoothly at first. SpaceX's first 3 Falcon 1 rocket launches crashed and burned, nearly bankrupting the company. But in 2008, the 4th try nailed it. Falcon 1 became the first privately funded rocket to orbit Earth, scoring SpaceX a $1.6 billion NASA deal to supply the International Space Station. Elon's wild ride was officially off the ground. In 2012, SpaceX's Dragon spacecraft pulled off something huge. It was the first commercial ship to hook up with the International Space Station. Not too shabby for a company everyone in the aerospace world doubted at first. But here's where Elon Musk's brain really sparkles. Reusable rockets. Back in the day, rockets were a one-shot deal. Launch them, and they'd either burn up or crash into the sea. Done forever. Elon thought that was a total waste. So, he got SpaceX to dream up rockets that could fly back, land straight up, and be ready to roll again. In 2015, they nailed it, landing a Falcon 9 rocket's first stage right back on land. A year later, they stuck one on a drone ship in the ocean. Now, reusable rockets are SpaceX's bread and butter, making space travel way cheaper and shutting down the haters once more. Then, in 2015, SpaceX kicked off Starlink, tons of little satellites buzzing around Earth to beam fast internet to even the most far-flung spots. They started launching them big time in 2019, and now thousands are up there. Some stargazers complain they mess with telescopes, but Starlink's been a game changer, bringing Wi-Fi to rural towns and war zones where regular internet just can't reach. Meanwhile, Elon wasn't just playing in space. Back on Earth, he jumped into Tesla in 2004, tossing in cash and later taking the CEO gig. His big plan? Speed up the switch to clean energy. Tesla's first Roadster was cool, but the Model S, Model X, and especially the Model 3, the everyman's electric car, really took off. In 2021, the Model 3 became the first electric ride to sell over 1 million, making EVs a thing everyone's talking about. And Elon, he's still not done dreaming big. Tesla, under Elon Musk's lead, has been crushing it, not just with cars, but with slick battery tech, solar power goodies, and the Cybertruck, that funky, sharp-edged electric pickup that finally rolled out in 2023. By 2021, Tesla's value shot past $1 trillion, making it the world's top car maker. But Elon's not stopping at rockets and electric rides. In 2016, he co-started Neuralink, a wild project to hook up human brains with AI. Yep, you heard that right. Neuralink's cooking up brain implants to help with stuff like Alzheimer's or spinal injuries, and maybe even let us control gadgets with our thoughts. Some brain experts raise an eyebrow at Elon's big promises, but Neuralink's definitely pushing the limits of what's doable. Whether it's brain tech or futuristic fixes, Elon's always miles ahead, dreaming up tomorrow. Now, you might be thinking, what's this got to do with his son XAE A-12? Hang tight. We'll circle back to that soon. First, let's peek at Elon's latest crazy ideas. This guy hears impossible and says, "Watch me." Take the Tesla bot, a human-like robot he showed off at Tesla's We Robot event in October 2024. Picture this. No more laundry, trash duty, or coffee making. The bot's got it covered. It blew folks away by tackling real chores and chatting with people. One cool moment? A Tesla bot played rock, paper, scissors with a guest, showing off its quick-thinking skills, powered by the same AI that drives Tesla's self-driving cars. And get this, robot bartenders were mixing drinks for the crowd, blending usefulness with a dash of fun. Elon Musk's dreaming up a future where Tesla bots are like your home's best pals, handling chores like cleaning, or even tough jobs at work. It's a big, bold plan, but if anyone can make it happen, it's Elon. He's also all in on self-driving cars. Think sci-fi, but real. At the We Robot event in 2024, Tesla rolled out its next big things. The Robotaxi, a car with no steering wheel or pedals, because the AI's got it covered. And the Tesla Robovan, a cool electric ride that can carry 20 people or zip packages around town with ninja-like precision. Elon's goal? No more road oopsies, less pollution, and a total city travel glow-up. It's not if, it's when. Traffic driving you nuts? Elon's with you, and his fix is next-level awesome. Tunnels. Through the Boring Company, he's digging super-fast underground paths to ditch city gridlock. The Las Vegas Loop's already a hit, with Tesla cars zooming folks under the streets. He's eyeing spots like Austin and Miami next, aiming for a whole underground highway system where self-driving cars whisk you around at warp speed. And then there's xAI, his newest brainchild from 2023. It's Elon getting deep, using AI to figure out the universe's big mysteries. With wild ideas and unstoppable drive, he's bringing the future right to our doorstep. Elon Musk's chasing a huge dream with xAI started in 2023, using artificial intelligence to unlock the universe's secrets. It's a tall order, but with Elon leading the charge, it feels totally doable. One of his coolest creations is Grok, a chatty AI with a funny twist, inspired by The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Grok's all about being relatable, friendly, and a bit quirky, while xAI tackles big stuff like boosting science and sprucing up education. Elon's big on AI being a helper, not a headache, and xAI is his way of making that happen. Sure, some folks think he's reaching too far, but Elon's made a habit of turning impossible into done. And isn't that what we all secretly want? A future that feels like pure magic brought to life? Now, who's next in line for Elon's genius throne? Unless he figures out how to live forever, and with Elon, who knows? Someone's gotta step up. As he keeps rocking tech, AI, and space, eyes are turning to his youngest kids with Siobhan Zealous. Why? Because Siobhan's a superstar herself. Her science and tech cred is off the charts. With Elon's brains and Siobhan's smarts, people are already betting their kids could be the future's big shots. Let's zoom in on Siobhan Zealous. She's a total trailblazer in AI and machine learning. Hailing from Ontario, Canada, she hit up Yale University, studying economics and philosophy. After that, she kicked off a killer career, sharpening her skills at IBM and then rocking it at Bloomberg, where she dove into partnerships and startups. With her and Elon teaming up, it's no surprise everyone's buzzing about what their little ones might do someday. Siobhan Zealous took her career to the next level, diving into venture capital and then rocking it at OpenAI, a company Elon Musk helped start. By 2016, she was the youngest big shot on OpenAI's board. Later, she jumped to Neuralink, Elon's brain tech gig, where she's now the go-to person for special projects. She's called Neuralink the wildest, most mind-blowing thing she's ever tackled. And that's saying something for a woman who's spent her life in the thick of cutting-edge breakthroughs. Siobhan and Elon first clicked over work stuff, but their love for science and tech turned into something more personal. They've got 3 kids together, twins Strider and Azure, born in 2021, and another little one in 2024. Like everything in Elon's world, their family's a bit out there but totally tied to their big dreams for tomorrow. Siobhan's stood up for Elon's bold, and sometimes tricky, ideas, saying he's a guy who takes hits to push for a better future for all of us. Together, they're a powerhouse duo. His unstoppable drive meets her super sharp smarts. So, what about their kids? With parents like Elon and Siobhan, people can't stop wondering what's in store for Strider, Azure, and their sibling. The twins are already mini-celebs, with folks guessing what kind of life they'll lead, hanging out in labs or brainstorming in boardrooms. Will they feel the heat to tackle the world's toughest problems like mom and dad? Probably not. Siobhan and Elon seem more like the go explore, read tons, and chase your curiosity type. Kinda like how Elon grew up, surrounded by books and big ideas, not boxed-in rules. Great ideas often pop up when kids get to explore and dream free. That's the vibe Elon Musk and Shivan Zilis are going for with their little ones. And now, here comes the star of the show, Elon's son, A-12’s, or X for short. At just 4 years old, this kid's not your typical toddler scribbling with crayons. He's hanging out with CEOs and tech bigwigs, stealing the spotlight next to his dad at huge events. First off, that name, X-A-E-A-12, tweaked to fit California rules, sounds like a secret code, right? It's pronounced X-A-12, and every bit has a cool story. Elon spilled the details on Joe Rogan's podcast. X is like a mystery to solve. A-E comes from his mom Grimes's artsy flair, and A-12 is Elon's shout-out to the Archangel 12, a badass plane that inspired the SR-71 Blackbird. It's a wild name for a kid born to a mega-famous innovator and a creative genius. X was never going to have a boring life. Elon's all about breaking rules, and that spills into how he raises his kids. For him, parenting means tossing them right into his world of big ideas, problem-solving, and leadership. And X is soaking it all up. In December 2024, X totally owned the scene when he tagged along with Elon to some high-stakes meetings. Photos of Elon hoisting X on his shoulders blew up online. X rocking dress pants, a gray sweater, and a sporty jacket, looking sharp as ever. Elon was beaming like the proudest dad, grinning through a crowd of reporters. Inside, X won everyone over with his charm. One pic of him and Elon pulling the same funny face went viral. Seriously, is this kid already picking up PR tricks from his pops? And back in September 2023, X was chilling at X Corp's headquarters. Yep, the old Twitter spot. Sitting in on biz talks like it's no big deal. This little guy's already living a life most grown-ups can't even imagine. Most toddlers would lose it in the wild chaos of a tech office, but not X-A-E-A-12. Yep, little X. At just 4, he's totally chill, watching all the action like it's no big deal. Then, in November 2024, he popped up at a business party with Elon, perched on his dad's shoulders, taking in the fun vibes. But these aren't just random outings. Elon's a guy who's always thinking way ahead. Could he be grooming X for a big role in his massive empire down the road? Now, about X's smarts, Elon finally spilled the beans, and it's wild. In a super rare heart-to-heart moment, he gushed about his 4-year-old, calling him a little genius with a sparkle in his eye. Elon says X is already crazy curious about business, science, and what's next for the world. Way beyond what you'd expect from a kid his age. It blows my mind how into this stuff he is, Elon said. He's like me as a kid, but he's kicking off even earlier. Elon's never been shy about dreaming big, and he's got sky-high hopes for X. "If I don't get to Mars, I'm betting X will," he said with a grin. His brain's on a level the world's not ready for. And it's not just space. X is hooked on how business works, tagging along to meetings and soaking up the buzz at Tesla and SpaceX like a little sponge. This kid's already living a life that's out of this world. Elon Musk isn't holding back when it comes to his son, X-A-E-A-12. He's calling big things for this little guy. Elon's convinced that X's super-smart brain, mixed with the wild world he's growing up in, think Tesla, SpaceX, and big ideas, sets him up to be something special. He's gonna be the ultimate upgrade of anything we've seen, Elon said with a big grin. The world's not even ready for a kid like him. It's thrilling, and honestly, a bit mind-blowing to imagine what he'll do. So, What do you think about Elon saying his 4-year-old ex is a genius? Can you spot that kind of brain power in a kid so young? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. And hey, hit that subscribe button for more cool stuff like this.